10 races down, 23 races to go. Hi everyone and welcome to the 11th race of the NR2003-2010 Truck Series Simulation. I'm Michael Paz covering racing action today from Gateway International Raceway, where 43 trucks will duke it out on the 1.25 mile oval in Madison, Illinois. So without further ado, let's get into the starting lineup for today. Starting row 1 is the number 30 of Todd Bodine. Alongside him, Thor Sports number 13 Johnny Sauter. Row 2, the number 88 of Matt Crafton. Alongside him, the number 3 of Austin Dillon. Row 3 is the 51 of Eric Amarola and the 31 of James Busher. Row 4 will be Ron Hornaday Jr. and Jason White in the number 23. Rounding out the top 10 today, the number 7 of Justin Lofton and the 81 of David Starr. Then behind him, it's the number 5 of Mike Skinner and the 17 of Timothy Peters. Then longtime Truck Series champion Kyle Busch alongside rookie Jennifer Jo Cobb. Then behind him, number 39 of Ryan Sieg and longtime independent driver Norm Benning. Then behind them at 17th and 18th will be the number 12 of Mario Gosselin. Alongside him, the number 4 of Ricky Carmichael. And rounding out the top 20, the number 60 of Stacy Compton and the 73 of Rick Crawford. 21st and 22nd will be made up by the number 2 of Elliott Sadler, the 56 of Taylor Malsom. Behind them, it's the 85 of Brent Raymer and the 89 of Mike Harmon. Then it's Ken Schrader and Donnie Leah. 27th and 28th, Chris Fontaine, Bobby Hamilton Jr., and rounding out the top 30 will be the number 9 truck of Max Pappas and the number 6 of Bobby Hamilton Jr. Behind them, it'll be Johnny Benson in the 15 truck and Brett Butler in the 47. Behind them, it is going to be the 93 of Mike Garvey and the 46 of Craig Goss. Number 16 and Donnie Neuenberger and Chris Jones make up 34 and 35. Then in 36th, it's the number 1 Red Horse Racing truck of Nelson Piquet Jr. In 37th today is the number 92 of Dennis Setzer alongside the number 90 of Brad Sweet. And to clear out the top 40, we got Tony Jackson Jr. in the 07 for SS Greenlight Racing and the number 20 of Johanna Long. Then it's Miguel Paludo and Tim Bainey Jr. And in the last truck alone in the field is the number 63 of Jack Smith. We have 100 laps here today at Gateway International Raceway. There's going to be a few drivers to watch. Of course, the first guy is the number 30 of Todd Bodine. He is first in points, 2 wins, 5 top 10s in 10 races, and an average finish of 3.6 to complement it. He has not finished outside the top 10 in any race so far, and his lowest finish is 7th. And starting on pole, he looks to continue that. But his challenger right now will be Johnny Sauter, who is second in points, 77 points behind, 8 top 10s, has 3 wins in a row, and a 6th place finish last week as well. So Sauter and Bodine have been the 2 top trucks right now. But I think further back in 7th, also 7th in the championship series, is Ron Hornaday Jr. He looks to be another outside contender who, if he can keep up a couple more good runs, at least keep pace with the 30 and the 13, Hornaday might just be able to go throw his name back into the ring. The keys to the race today are going to be getting up front early. So it's getting a lot harder to try to pass in these long runs. So what you got to do, get to the front as close as you can when everybody's still close together. Pit strategy is going to be another major thing. We don't know exactly when they're going to try to pit. Everybody could be pitting at different times. They could all be pitting on the same lap. So, you got to make sure when do you time it out and when do you time it out compared to everybody else. And the third, if you're in second, don't let the leader get away. When the leader pulls away, they pull away. And goodbye to the races they go. So, if you want to keep your race intact, make sure to keep pace with the leader. With enough of that, on the way, should be getting the command any second. And here we go. Engines are fired. Engines are fired today. The Ford Pace truck is going to be the one leads the field around for the half lap. Then pulling it in. We got a Toyota, a Chevy, 2 more Chevys. Chevy, Toyota, Chevy, Dodge. Not a Ford to be seen right now in the top 10. As the Pace truck comes in, we're ready to get things underway. Here for Gateway. And in just a second, the green flag will fly. And we're underway. There's Matt Crafton in the bright yellow number 88 of Menards. He's right behind the number 30 of Todd Bodine. Up to second already. Trying to tail down Bodine on lap 1. Eric Almirola in the 51 gonna battle for third. Johnny Sauter stuck on the outside. The 31 of James Busher right behind them both. 88 right to the back bumper of the 30 to the inside. He's looking. Not enough of a run. Todd Bodine's gonna lead the first lap around. Johnny Sauter's going to do a crossover move on his teammate. Crafton may lose second. But Crafton's still trying to battle back hard on the outside. Sauter's got the better run. Into the corner. Coming out of the corner, he still has the better run. Johnny Sauter trying to stay up into second. Crafton still battling back. Eric Almirola in fourth, looking to spoil the party. He's going to give a little bit of a help to the 13. Maybe he can do something with it. 13 and 88 still battling side by side. Almirola bans the 13, goes up to the 88, allows the 88 to clear from the outside. Almirola might just try to do the same. Dives into the corner though. Johnny Sauter's gonna get around him. Almirola falls to fourth. James Busher now trying to put the 51 Toyota under fire. And then another similarly schemed number, the number three truck of Austin Dillon in 6th right now. Leading the way past the 7 of Justin Lofton. Ron Hornaday Jr. in 8th, the last of this little group of trucks who've started to go single file here on lap 4. On board right now with number 13 of Johnny Sauter. Third in line behind the 30 and the number 88. 88's trying to go. He's got the better run on the 30 truck, but he doesn't have enough room to do it. He needs to focus the truck down a little bit more to the inside. Get some sort of advantage. Right now, staying in line isn't going to help anybody. Sauter runs a 34.38. Crafton ran a 34.43. And Todd Bodine just about ran the same. So right now, Almirola and Sauter are faster. They just need to get a little bit more creative with how they're going to get around everybody. As Crafton goes down to the inside, he's looking for help from Sauter. Bodine still holds the lead, though. Early on, further back, we've got 3 wide. The 31, the 3, and the 7. Lofton tried to get around him on the outside. Not going to work for Lofton. And the 3 and the 31 continue to battle side by side. Dillon on the outside. James Busher on the inside. The black and gray number 31 Wolfpack truck putting up a fight to the rookie. And up front, Almirola has joined the 2 ThorSport trucks in their quest to try to get past the number 30. As Dillon on the outside has cleared the number 31 and Busher falls back a spot to 6th. A little bit more chaos back here as the number 23, the top Dodge of Jason White, is currently on the outside trying to battle back up against a few other trucks. The 5 of Mike Skinner, who's going to dive down to the inside of Ron Hornaday. Hornaday goes a little bit high, I think. And with help from David Starr, Skinner's going to get around the 33 easily. Hornaday in a pretty plain, just black and white truck now. Not as much sponsorship as this week, although a little bit better than David Starr, who currently has no sponsor listed other than an associate, Zachary. Lap 8 here, and it's been a lot of back and forth so far as Hornaday clears the corner to here clears the little pack. Mike Skinner trying to do the same. As we go back up front, they're still single file, and the Thorsport trucks have gotten right to the bumper again. Johnny Sauter is going to try to make the first move on the inside of his teammate. There's Sauter up to second. 88 of Matt Crafton falls to the outside, falls to third. Now Johnny Sauter trying to make a run on Bodine. Bodine's led all 9 laps so far unopposed in that number 30 Valvoline truck. Sauter might take a lap or two for him to try to set up any sort of run. Almirola tried to look to the inside for third. Did not work at all. We start to go a little bit further back through the field. Kyle Busch has moved up to 13th. Gosselin 14th. Ryan Seed 15th. Jennifer Jo Cobb in 16th. And as we go further through the field, a lot of the trucks have started to go single file already. A couple of the Red Horse trucks are still mired back in the back half of the field. Miguel Paludo in 37th. Nelson Piquet in 39th. And Tim Bainey Jr. in the 06 truck is currently the last truck. Currently the last truck in last place. 43rd and about 15 seconds off of the leader. And it's a 34-second lap around this track. So I think by maybe lap 30, 35 or so, depending on when they pit, could start to see lap traffic for Bodine, who's currently still unopposed because the 13 and the 88 still battle each other. And Crafton had got around him. Crafton had got around the 13 for a lap there, but then he immediately lost it. And now he's trying to fight off the 51 and the 3. Austin Dillon, who got a huge run off the corner at turn 2, is trying to get around the 51 of Eric Almirola. But they're starting to spread out just a little bit. Bodine starts to go a little bit higher. This is going to give Johnny Sauter an opportunity to dive down to the inside if he can stick the run. He's got a pretty decent chance right here. Just might not be enough for now. So they go back into turns 1 and 2. Lap 13. Sauter still having no luck, even though he is running faster than the 30 truck right now. And actually, speaking of fast laps, let's take a look. Eric Almirola, 4th right now, has the fastest lap of a 34.30. 5/100ths faster than the next guy, James Busher, in the 31 truck. Still green here. And all trucks are mostly single file except for a little battle back here. Issues on one of the trucks. The 07 had a fuel system failure. Tony Jackson Jr. reported mechanical issues. He's not coming to pit road just yet. He's going to try to limp it around though. SS Greenlight's number 07 Chevy Silverado, unsponsored this week, only has a gray and red flame decal on the truck as he limps his way to pit road, possibly out of the race. We'll give you updates. We'll give you an update here in just a second. Looks like not out of it just yet. They're going to try to fix it. As the 07 comes into pit road. Todd Bodine currently still the leader. Those 4 trucks right behind the number 30. So far, not able to get anything just yet. Like I said earlier, it's going to be hard to pass. You got to try to make these moves when you can. There's Crafton trying to make a move on Sauter again. The teammates have been battling each other longer than they've been battling anybody else, which is great for them, but that's not going to help their challenge if they want to go ahead and get past Bodine. The 07 does come back out onto the track, 1 lap down, could lose another though. But good to see Tony Jackson Jr. being able to make the return to the track. Now Crafton started to get a little bit of a distance between him and the 13. Sauter can focus solely on the 30 now. It comes through turn 3 and 4. Sauter looking for any kind of maneuver. Trying to look to the inside. In that number 13 Toyota Chevy Silverado, sponsored by Easy. Take a look here. We're just riding along with Johnny Sauter again. 30 keeps going wide into the corner. This is going to give Johnny Sauter the best opportunity he's had. But the 30 keeps shutting him down. He's not able to get the full truck underneath the 30. That's not enough for him. That's not enough for Sauter to be able to go and take advantage of the 30 getting looser and looser throughout the corners. So he continues to follow behind him in a straight line. Crafton still remains in third, Almirola fourth, Austin Dillon fifth, James Busher sixth, Justin Lofton seventh. Busher and Lofton about 1.5 seconds off from the leaders right now. Eighth place, Ron Hornaday is over 4 seconds behind, as these leaders have just absolutely broken away from the rest of the field. Quite surprising, actually. And as the field starts to go and get a little bit more broken up, there's one rookie I want to talk about. Ricky Carmichael in 17th right now. He's had a lot of top 20 finishes. Actually, all of his finishes have been between 11th and 20th, except for 3 key races, 2 of the last ones, where he's finished 40th or worse because of DNFs, because of the wrecks and other such things. It's not been a good stretch of races for Carmichael, but he's trying to work at it, get back to getting more top 20s, maybe even getting a top 10. His truck does have pace. I think sometimes it just comes down to luck and the fact that the top 10 trucks are just so good right now. It can kind of negate any progress that Carmichael may have been making. So we go back up front. We take a look at the second pack, the one that's now 5 seconds back. Hornaday, Skinner, and Starr. David Starr have been following behind the 5 of Mike Skinner for a while now. 3 black trucks all in a row. As we move up further back to the front, the 13 and the 88 are exactly where we left them last time, as they continue to battle, but Austin Dillon's going to go way down to the inside, almost makes it 3 wide. Dillon tried to get around the 88 and the 51. 51 was on the outside, Crafton in almost the middle, and Dillon's getting a little bit impatient here. He wants to get past everybody. He gets around the 51 truck, then in the corner, stalls out just a little bit. He's going to allow Almirola on the outside to keep pace with him. And they're going to drag race it down that time to the line. Eric Almirola got the better run, and Austin Dillon has to slap back in the 5th. That seems to be Dillon's problem right now, is the corners. He's good coming out of them, but he's not good going into them. Let's see if he's going to be able to pick up or 2 or that. Maybe he'll get maybe the right adjustment or so during pit stops, provided we have them within a decent amount of time. Not sure when we're expecting those. As once again Johnny Sauter gets to the back bumper of Todd Bodine and still is not able to do much with it because his teammate's going to try to go there first. Crafton down to the inside again to second. And that bright yellow number 88 Menard Chevy is once again in second. Past his teammate on the outside, Johnny Sauter. As they enter turn 3, they're going to come around this time and complete lap number 25. We're already a quarter of the way done with this race, and it's been all Todd Bodine so far As we take a look at some of the trucks in the back, they're about 30 seconds behind. And there's a battle again. Austin Dillon, once again, to the inside of the 51 of Eric Almirola. Almirola's going to lose one spot. He could lose two. James Busher in the 31 and Justin Lofton have caught up to this lead pack. Now all about within about 1.5 seconds of each other, as the second pack, still led by Ron Hornaday, is over 5.5 seconds back now. And the 13 and the 88 still continue to battle. Sauter's trying to get back around on the outside. Crafton still on the inside. Entering turn 1, Austin Dillon going to fall behind the 88 again, give him a little bit more of a push. Doesn't formulate with anything though, as James Busher looks to get around Almirola, whose truck is starting to not do as well, to say the least. Let's take a look at the lap times. Lap times have fallen off by almost an entire second and a half for some trucks. And I think right now pit stops look very appealing to some of these guys. You know, let's take a look at the back half of the field right now. 42nd now, Tim Bainey Jr. He's up one because of that earlier problem with Tony Jackson Jr. He is currently down the backstretch and about to enter turn 3. And as we look at Todd Bodine, he's on the backstretch as well. The leaders are within sight of the first lap traffic of the day. And we actually might catch them by lap 35. Once again, Crafton to the back bumper of the 13. 13 goes high. Crafton able to dive down really good that time into the corner. And almost able to perfectly stick it. As the front 7 leaders catch up to the back half of the field, and Todd Bodine might have some company. Crafton almost got to the back bumper, might have gave him a nudge, but Crafton backed out at the last second, didn't want to plow into him, and Bodine stays in front as Eric Almirola gets to the inside of the 3 right behind them, and it's 2 by 2 for second and fourth. Busher and Lofton still tailing behind, waiting to pounce at the first sign of incident. Crafton trying to take second still from Johnny Sauter. Austin Dillon battling back from Eric Almirola on the outside. Starting lap 31 here. 23 minutes have gone by in this race so far, as Johnny Sauter clears the 88 on the outside. They're going to catch them in a minute. We'll catch up with them when they do. Timothy Peters currently in 11th in that number 17 truck. Talk about him for a quick second. He's 6th in points. He's got 1 win. He won Daytona. Has 9 top 10s. Second highest of anybody in the field, but an average finish of 9.1, because he's been on the later half of the top 10, mostly finishing around 7th, 8th, and 9th. And a 41st finish in the 3rd race of the year, after I believe that was a crash that took him out. But nevertheless, still a good job for that Red Horse Racing Toyota. A growingly iconic number frame of black background and white numbers on a white truck. Kyle Busch following behind, not really having been able to do much. In 13th, behind Jason White, who's been the other definition of Mr. Consistent. Only 1 race finished outside the top 10, but he's never finished higher than 3rd. He's still looking for his first podium of the year, even though Jason White is currently 5th in points. He's also got 9 top 10s, but only 3 top 5s. And right now, with how competitive this top 10 field is, you're going to need every position that you can get. And Bodine sees those lappers. We have about 3, 4, 5 of them. They're going to go 3 wide all the way back for 39th. And they're slowing themselves down. Todd Bodine's catching them even quicker. Johnny Sauter might have an opportunity. And they're right up to the back bumper. They've got to start being careful how they maneuver this lap traffic. Bodine. He's stuck behind them both. Johnny Sauter's got an opportunity. Sauter down to the inside. Trying to get past on the inside, but they're both held up by lap trucks. Jack Smith on the inside, Tim Beatty on the outside, but the inside has the preferred lane. Johnny Sauter, with help from Austin Dillon, they're going to get by the number 30 truck. Sauter at least. But then on the outside, there's less trucks obstructing the way. Bodine still battling back. Bodine in the 88 still on the outside. The 13.3 and the 51 on the inside. And what do you know? Bodine just pushes the 06 along, past the 63, gets down to the inside, and clears them all. So Todd Bodine moves up to the front, and now everybody else is just trying to get behind, getting around those lap trucks. They've caught the 20 and the 06. Matt Crafton gets around the 06 second. He's in the second. Johnny Sauter third. Austin Dillon, Eric Almirola, and now the 31 and the 7 are getting held up by 42nd place, the number 63 of Jack Smith. And Bodine's made quick work of the number 20 of Johanna Long. The two ThorSport trucks trying to do the same. Austin Dillon fourth. Losing a bit of touch right now between him and the 88 truck. Bodine still going to the inside. He's getting around Miguel Paludo. And then the other Red Horse truck, the number 1 of Nelson P.K. Jr. At 37 right now. And Bodine leads by about half a second. Crafton on the inside of the lap truck. Gonna get around him for a second. Sauter's gonna get held up. Here comes Austin Dillon. He's gonna make it 3 wide again. Dillon, the more aggressive driver, he's definitely taking chances today. And gonna try to find his way through the field. So far it's been working. He's up to the back bumper of the 13 of Sauter, and he wasn't able to get around him, but he did get around the lapper. 51 of Almirola. Then it's Justin Lofton. Lofton's moved up into 6th right now. James Busher still in 7th. And they've gotten around to the 3rd Red Horse truck, the one of Miguel Paludo. And now, Bodine working around the 37th place truck, the 93 of Mike Garvey, teammate to Ryan Sieg. And Bodine gets Donnie Neuenberger in the same corner. 2 trucks down in 1 corner for the number 30 of Todd Bodine. And he is just absolutely slicing through this lap traffic right now. Donnie Neuenberger in the number 16. He's made a few starts this year. He's made 4, but has not finished better than 25th. And with the blank number 16 in 36th, I don't know if he's going to be able to improve on that today. So we approach lap 40. Austin Dillon follows the 13 truck and the 88 as Crafton has caught back up to the 30. 87 of Chris Jones, the new lapper they're trying to get around. Johnny Sauter's going to try to dive down to the inside. Still a little bit too early. And they're going to go single file once again. 30, 88, 13 on the inside of the 87 of Jones. 30 went high. Crafton trying to take advantage of that. But Bodine once again shuts the door on him as they approach another lapper. The number 46 this time. Bodine almost made contact with the 46. And it's just getting harder and harder for the 30 to try to hold off these 2 ThorSport trucks. But he's been able to do it for 40 laps so far. But Crafton still pressuring the 30 truck. And further up ahead is the 90 of Brad Sweet in the 6 of Bobby Hamilton Jr. We're on board with Matt Crafton here. The 30 of 09 goes down to the inside of the lappers, not able to clear them just yet. And Crafton's going to have enough fun with the number 13, Johnny Sauter, his teammate once again. Crafton gets the better run off the corner. Tails down right up to the back bumper of the 30 once again. And as we take a look, we've lost about 2 seconds. That might have been the yellow. Yep, that is. The yellow flag is out. I'm not sure what happened, but we have a caution, ladies and gentlemen. Lap 43. As the 11 truck has a tire failure. And another issue. The number 60 is just blown up. Stacy Compton smokes his engine. Under caution. And oh boy, what happened here to cause an incident? The 11 truck is already on the pit road. We're going to take a quick look back as everybody starts to pit. Oh, it happened right in front of the pace truck on pit road. It looks like Donnie Neuenberger just dumped the 7. He was not clear in any way, shape, or form. And oh my gosh, they just wrecked into him afterward. Jason White and Kyle Busch. What did Jason White and Kyle Busch do? Oh, as they started to slow down, White got a little bit loose on the inside of Kyle Busch. He tried to merge. He merged into Kyle Busch and pushed him in front of the 7 of Lofton. So that was the incident that brought out the caution. And everybody's on pit road as we come back from that replay. A lot of guys decided to pit before they came to pit road, and I think this might be a really good strategy call as the 81 has a tire failure. 3 trucks just had mechanical issues in the last minute. This is unbelievable. The 11 truck had a tire failure, the 81 truck had a tire failure, and the 60 had an engine failure. 3 trucks all out of it when nobody was more than 2 laps down just beforehand. And David Starr in the 81 truck was 8th. So lap 45, and this is incredible. As we'll see where everybody sorts out after this. A lot of trucks are just in front of the leader. I'm not sure if they're going to be considered a lap down or not. Brent Raymer. He's the front truck in the pack, but he's listed in 25th. We're going to take a few seconds to get this whole scoring situation situated out, and then we'll come right back to you in order for time for the green. Getting to 1 to go now as we rejoin you here from Gateway International Raceway. Several trucks have had issues. Stacy Compton had a valve issue. David Starr had a tire issue. But the 11 of Miguel Paludo looks like he was able to fix his truck without much issue. We have 22 trucks on the lead lap right now. 23rd through 40th is 1 lap down. Tony Jackson Jr. is 2 laps down, having that earlier issue. The leader is the number 88 truck, Matt Crafton, who's going to have 1 truck in front of him on the outside lane and a bunch of lappers on the inside. So this is going to be interesting for Crafton, who finally got the lead off of pit road from the 30 of Todd Bodine. He's our first new leader of the day by lap 47. Here we're going to be going back green on lap 48. But a lot of these, there's going to be a lot of traffic for these guys. Crafton first, Bodine second, Austin Dillon. Then it's James Busher. Johnny Sauter falls to 5th. Taylor Malzum with a great time to pick when he's going to pit. Moves up to 6th. Eric Almirola 7th. Donnie Lee 8th. Ron Hornaday Jr. 9th. And Norm Benning in the number 57 truck. Bright red 57. You can't miss it. It looks like a fire truck. Is in 10th. So, few new interesting faces up there. Let's see if they can do anything with it. Pace truck comes off. We're going to be going back green lap 48. As the bright yellow Menards is going to take the green once again. Green flag. And oh boy, those lappers are having a fun time trying to get around each other. And how's everybody else going to do? Brent Raymer goes way to the outside. And I think the lap trucks are faster than the leaders. Crafton did not get going at all. Here comes the 3 of Austin Dillon. Dillon down to the inside of the 88 and the 30. He's going to take the lead already. James Busher in 2nd. Then the 13. Johnny Sauter in 3rd. Crafton may not have even pitted. Whatever it is, whatever strategy Crafton took, it did not work. He is down to 5th, losing spots fast. As Bodine dives down into the corner, he's going to get around the 13 of Johnny Sauter. James Busher on the outside of Austin Dillon. Austin Dillon still stuck behind a lap truck, the number 84 of Chris Fontaine. Busher had a lap truck in front of him, but Bodine is right there. The 31 and the 13 going to try to tandem each other on the outside, past the 84 truck. Busher might be able to clear, and the 13 of Sauter does. They get ahead of the 84 truck, and with that, the 3 of Austin Dillon and the 30 of Todd Bodine. Crafton continues to lose spots. He's going to lose another one here to Eric Almirola. Not a good restart at all. Let's take a look. They're running 35 1s, 34 9s up in the front. Crafton ran a 36 second. Yeah. If Crafton stayed out or only took 2 tires, whatever strategy it was, did not work. As the gap between him and the rest of the field just continues to get more and more exponential. We have a lot of slower trucks now. Some of the lap trucks are starting to pull away from the leaders. Brent Raymer, Elliott Sadler, Ken Schrader. Maybe not Ken Schrader. He's about to get lapped 3 wide as they go into turn 3. Johnny Sauter on the inside of the 31 of James Busher. Then it's Austin Dillon 3rd. Todd Bodine up to 4th. And Sauter on the inside is going to clear. Maybe clear the 31. 31 still battling back on the outside. Sauter clears him finally, and Busher falls to 2nd. The 3 and the 30 follow close behind. It's Bodine down to the inside, looking to clear the number 3. To Johnny Sauter, leading the way past the 2 of Elliott Sadler. Gonna lap him for the first time today. James Busher into 2nd. Austin Dillon 3rd. Todd Bodine 4th. 5th place way further back. Eric Almirola. Ron Hornaday 6th. Mike Skinner 7th. Matt Crafton 8th. Kyle Busch is up to 9th. And the 10th. In 10th is the number 7 of Justin Lofton. Jennifer Jo Cobb, Mario Goslin, Timothy Peters, all up here right now as well. I'm not sure where the 50... Oh, Taylor Malzum, yeah. I think Malzum tried to stay out, and it did not work for him either, as he's fallen to 19th. The tail end of the field. Johnny Sauter tries to pull away from James Busher. Crafton and Bodine still battling back for 3rd. Finally past the last lap truck. That was in front of them, Brent Raymer. On lap 55, look once again, and we'll remind you that the 60 is out. The 81 had a tire issue as well. 41 trucks still running, and just 21 trucks on the lead lap right now. But it might be a few less, considering some of them are very well off the pace. 37-second laps, almost 38 seconds for some of these trucks, who are losing a ton of time. We'll step away for a second just to let you hear the sounds of the race. Crank it up on board with James Busher. We join you back with a little bit of interesting comment, a little bit of trivia here, that 26 trucks so far have made all 10 starts. The first 24 in points to Max Pappas, and also including Dennis Setzer and Mike Harmon. Setzer and Harmon are both in this race, and therefore will continue their streak. We should have all 26 trucks again here today. We have a truck on pit road right now in the meantime. That is the 56 of Taylor Malzum, who tried a different strategy on pitting, and he's gonna have to come in right now. He's gonna come in for at least 2 tires, some fuel. Looks like nope, all 4 tires gonna be changed for the number 56 truck. The 88 was also in as well, and a 4 tire and fuel stop. This might be able to take them to the end. 60 laps on that run. Yeah, Crafton and Malzum should be good, but in the meantime, they're going to lose a lap, possibly 2. But anyway, as I was... Oh, a few more trucks are also actually in. We might be in the middle of an unintentional pit cycle. Setzer. Yep, this is all of the... These were all of the slower trucks. Try to get a bit more... Try to get a few more spots in with a different pit strategy, and ultimately did not work for them. Donnie Leib was also in, Craig Goss, Rick Crawford, Dennis Setzer, like we said, and the 93 Mike Garvey. And Malzum is definitely paying the price for it. He's fallen back to 36th because of that. But I don't think he has to pit again. So he has one thing going for him. The 90 and the 06 also in on pit road. Lap 61. Johnny Sauter still holds the lead by 0.6 of a second over James Busher, Todd Bodine, and Austin Dillon. Your front 4, who've been the front 4 for a good chunk of the race, Crafton had to make his pit stop, and he has fallen pretty far. He's 32nd right now. One of the last trucks, 1 lap down, could be in danger of going 2 down. Yes, he is, because he gets around the 16 of Donnie Neuenberger, which is for position actually, 31st. Okay, let's take a look once again. Going back to the stats, 26 trucks have made theirs. A couple have made 9, but we've had a total of 71 drivers make at least 1 start so far, which is a pretty good number from a wide variety of these teams. Some of these guys are only part-time, like Miguel Paludo, who's going to be making his 2nd start today. And then some of the other ones, Greg Pursley, Parker Klerman, Grant Infinger, Terry Jones, Wes Burton, Jason Bowles, Brian Silas. So a little bit of a shout out, even if most of these guys aren't here today. And another one more statistic. The lowest driver in points with the top 10 is Brent Raymer in 18th, who has 3 top 10s actually, but an average finish of 19.8. So all the good finishes have mostly been condensed to the upper half of the field. We haven't seen many guys in the back half of the field get a top 10 yet. Still, anything could happen though, as we're going to go through your top 10 once more. Johnny Sauter still leads. Todd Bodine is about to get second away from James Busher. Austin Dillon in fourth. Eric Amarola fifth. Not Taylor Malzum. Ron Hornaday Jr. in sixth. Mike Skinner seventh. You have to go further back, all the way to 8th is 11 seconds back. That's Kyle Busch. 9th is Timothy Peters. Jason White is trying to go for 10th around Justin Lofton. Mario Gosselin tailing behind them in 12th. A lot of lappers in between these guys, so that's going to be interesting. Ron Hornaday Jr. especially, who is 6 seconds behind Johnny Sauter. And that time around, as he gets through lap traffic, loses time. And up ahead of Johnny Sauter, he's got one truck at least. That is, I believe, Donnie Neuenberger. Yes, it is. Donnie is 32nd, about a second off the pace. Chris Jones, 30th, the next truck. Tony Jackson Jr. Crafton, who's trying to work his way up. He's up to 30th. Everybody else is kind of just going around at the best pace they can. They're all extremely spread out from each other. There's Donnie Leah, who had to make that pit stop. He's in 34th right now. 2 laps down. Getting around Chris Fontaine and Brad Sweet. Remember, Leah and those other guys who pit don't have to pit anymore for the rest of the race. Will it pay off? Probably not. Unless these guys have to pit again. They pitted last on lap 43. Is 57 laps is what we're looking for. Is that going to be enough to complete your race? That's going to be the question. The 13, the 30, everybody else is going to have to try to answer. So we sit lap 68 of 100. Sauter still continues to lead unopposed. Waiting to catch the lap traffic. Taylor Malzum, who had to make that pit stop earlier, as we said, 33rd, 2 down, first truck 2 down. He's able to clear his way past some of these other guys who have those older tires. Then some of the trucks a lap down. Brent Raymer in 17th, Elliott Sadler 18th, Ken Schrader, Gross is 38th. Brett Butler, one of the guys in the Rookie of the Year battle. Well, right now, the Rookie of the Year battle is mostly Austin Dillon and Justin Lofton. Justin Lofton is 11th. Austin Dillon is 4th right now. They're separated from each other by about 200 points. So Dillon might be able to close in just a little bit right now. Ricky Carmichael in 13th. Caught up to a few lap trucks. Mike Garvey in the 93, right behind him. And while we're here, kind of as we've reached the quieter phase of the race, we'll go through some of the winners so far this year. At Daytona, it was Timothy Peters. Atlanta was Kyle Busch. Martinsville, Ron Hornaday Jr. Nashville was the number 30 at Todd Bodine. Then the first 2 in a row winner, Eric Almirola, who won at Kansas and Dover. Johnny Sauter won 3 in a row at Charlotte, Texas, and Michigan. And Bodine won again, this time at Iowa. And looking ahead at the next few races in the schedule, we're going to have Indianapolis, Pocono, Nashville, and Watkins Glen. And then race 16 of the year is going to be at the Springfield Mile in Springfield, Illinois. 1 mile dirt track. Truck Series hasn't been to the dirt track in quite a while, or if at all. And we'll see how that goes for them. It's going to be an interesting little test. The dirt derbies have always been one of the more interesting races, especially when it comes to NASCAR. As Johnny Sauter gets around the first lapper he's seen in a while, Donnie Neuenberger, who remains 32nd in a very blank, unsponsored number 16 truck. Donnie's just trying to go get a few races under his belt. He shares the ride currently with J.C. Stout, who's made 3 starts, Wes Burton, who made 1, and Travis Quapple is set to make a attempt a race, although we don't know when. As the 16 just kind of goes, and for these small teams, it's get a couple of drivers, get a few races in, get some money, try to build up your organization for next year. That's kind of their main goal. So, sometimes you want to do it for fun. Sometimes you want to go and turn this thing into a legitimate business. We've seen both sides of the spectrum. See it all the time here, especially in the truck series. And right behind the 16 of Donnie Neuenberger is Todd Bodine, who has lost 2 seconds over the 13 of Johnny Sauter. Right now, I think Sauter's just taking good advantage of that clean air, and he's taken off. Bodine in second, trying to just keep up. Who actually did make up some time, down to 1.9 seconds from 2.0. Not much, but every little bit helps, especially when you still have 25 laps to go in this race. Buscher still in third, Austin Dillon in fourth, Almirola fifth, and Mike Skinner sixth. He's finally gotten around Ron Hornaday Jr. Took him a while, but finally around the number 33 Chevy Silverado. A lot of lappers in between until we get to 8th, Timothy Peters. Kyle Busch up to 9th, and Mario Gosselin is going to crack the top 10 for the first time today, if he can get around Jason White. Almost. Jason White still had the advantage, but he's on the outside. We'll see if Gosselin can do anything on the inside. He dives in the corner, and 23 does not get a good run off. Mario Gosselin is going to go to the top 10 if he can get around the 73 truck. He tries to, but that 73 is really holding him up. Thankfully, Jason White is not able to maneuver the corners as good as well, but Jason White still gets the better run off, and he's stuck behind more lap traffic for doing that. Jason White stuck behind Ken Schrader, and White is also running one of the few Dodges left in the truck series. You don't see as many of those today. But hey, it's always nice still seeing Dodge having some form of manufacturer support. They are talking about discontinuing it in the Cup Series within the next few years. We're hoping they don't, because we love having different manufacturers. It creates its own little rivalry, no matter what series you're in. And they're 3 wide right behind. Justin Lofton on the outside trying to get around Mario Gosselin, as lap trucks continue to plague now the middle of the field. Lofton not able to get around Gosselin. He's gonna follow right behind him. And White is up to 10th again. Been pretty quiet so far on track. 13 of Johnny Sauter still leads by a decent amount. 20 laps to go. The advantage is 2 seconds. Almost perfectly. Make that 2.3, sorry. And Sauter is closing in on more lap traffic. Bobby Hamilton Jr., Max Pappas, Tony Jackson Jr., Miguel Beludo, Jack Smith, some of the names. And Sauter is faster by about half of a second, which is just going to, I think, get this whole battle a lot closer. Johnny Sauter will make up, if he wins right now, I think he's not going to make up more than 5 or 10 points on the 30 of Todd Bodine. The gap will still be about 67. Almirola is going to probably stay where he is. Austin Dillon should be able to move up a spot or two, though. Assuming everything finishes where they are right now. But, of course, it's a truck race. Anything can happen. As Johnny Sauter goes down to the inside and starts getting around some of these lap trucks. Got around the 6 of Bobby Hamilton, who's been the primary driver of that truck so far. He's had the most starts with 6. 6 has a couple of DNQs. And also a lot of drivers who were set to make starts, but I don't think will. They might just keep Bobby Hamilton in for most of the season. Amber Copes, E. Falk, Derek White, Pennington, Butler, Garrity, and Rust. But yeah, if they're pleased with Bobby Hamilton's results, they might keep him in for a few more races, as he gets lapped for 30th. Max Pappas, 29th, in the 9 truck, sharing the ride with BJ McLeod. McLeod still yet to make a start yet. So for now, it's Max Pappas doing most of the work there. He's 24th in points. Yeah, and once again, he's made all 10 races. Doesn't have a top 20 just yet, but pretty consistent. Not exactly good finishes, but they are consistent, so we'll take that, I guess. As they get around, Tony Jackson Jr., Miguel Paludo once again. 16 trucks remain on the lead lap. Jennifer Jo Cobb's the last one of them. 27 trucks from 17th to 27th is 1 lap down. So Jack Smith here is about to go 2 laps down, as Johnny Sauter gets by him without any sort of issue. And the gap between the 13 and the 30 remains 2.3 seconds. I don't think Johnny Sauter might have much more competition. Austin Dillon remains in 3rd. James Busher 4th. Erica Marola 5th. And the supposed run back from those who pitted, like Taylor Malzum, doesn't look like it's going to get anywhere. They're getting around the 31 and the 51, but tire wear is starting to get to the 56 truck too. Mike Skinner 6th. Ron Hornaday Jr. 7th. Timothy Peters 8th. A lot of lappers in between. Jason White 9th. Who got around Kyle Busch? And Kyle Busch falls to 10th. 17 seconds behind the leaders. Been a pretty quiet day now in recent laps here at Gateway as we approach the 1 hour mark of our broadcast. 86 laps are in. We're getting to the final few. We'll see if Johnny Sauter and the rest of them have enough time. Can they go? Do they have enough fuel, tires, to make it to the end? We'll find out here. We're going to take one more quick break, and then we'll be back for the final 10 laps here in the NR2003 Draft Series 2010 Truck Sim. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We are back for the final 10 laps here at Gateway International Raceway. The gap between the leaders has just gotten even larger. 3.3 seconds now between Johnny Sauter and Todd Bodine. And Sauter gets around 2 more trucks, Nelson Piquet Jr. and Johanna Long, which makes it just 24 trucks who are 1 lap, or at least no lower than 1 lap down. Still 16 on the lead lap. Jennifer Jo Cobb, the last one of them, 27 seconds off from our current leader, the number 13 of Johnny Sauter. The fastest lap of the race is still going to the number 51, Erica Marola, with that 34.30 he put early in the race. And with 9 to go, it's just a matter of get your truck around and don't let anything bad happen. Which, for Johnny Sauter, has all been just good things. Him and Todd Bodine Johnny Sauter, remember, has 3 wins, 8 top 10s, 7 of them are top 5s, average finish of 5.5 for his efforts, 18th at Daytona and 11th at Kansas, and that's the worst finishes he has. Hasn't finished lower than 6th with those 3 wins in a row. That's the big one, because the wins, if somehow there's a tiebreaker between him and Todd Bodine when we get to the end of the season, the wins is going to be what wins the tiebreaker. Might be a little bit early to think about the championship now, but, well, actually, it's never too late to start thinking about the championship, because if it's going to be this close, how it is right now, you're going to need all those points you can get. As lap 93 approaches, Sauter still out ahead by 3 seconds. Johnny Benson Jr. and Mike Harmon are the 2 drivers next, who the 13 is to try to go and put down another lap. Bodine gets around the 20 of Johanna Long. Austin Dillon still trailing behind, 3.4 seconds. From the leaders, James Buescher in 5th, about 5 seconds off. 7 seconds off. Ron Hornaday, 7th. Mike Skinner in 6th. Peter still in 8th. And right now it's been a pretty quiet event. As Sauter closes in on the 15 with just 6 to go, lap 95 of 100. 1 hour, 5 minutes. Sauter's going to go overhead, get around the number 15 Toyota without much issue. And 89 on barely sponsored Ford of Mike Harmon. And let's give quick credit to the scheme's designer for the number 13. It's Easy Grill, and there's a pretty nice fire decal on it, giving a little bit of flair to what would just normally be a plain black truck. And also on the deck lid of the truck, he has sponsorship from Tim McGraw, who's promoting one of his most recent albums. So congratulations, Tim McGraw. You might just find yourself in victory lane here in just a few short laps. Sauter has been absolutely dominant. Going to be catching Norm Benning and Jennifer Jo Cobb next. Possibly. They're entering turn 1 right now. Johnny Sauter is following closely behind, enters turn 1 himself several seconds after. And yet only 7 trucks are within 10 seconds of the leader. Looks to be almost in the bag. As once again we take a look and remember the 88 of Matt Crafton who had that issue? He is 17th right now. Oh, there's issues for somebody. Engine failure on the 6 of Bobby Hamilton Jr. And oh man, we are almost there. He stops on track. He stopped on track. That is a yellow. That's a caution, and that might just end the race. Johnny Sauter might just have this win in the bag as long as he doesn't pit. And I was saying about Matt Crafton earlier, he's going to finish 17th, I do believe. So Johnny Sauter, he's going to win this race under caution, but nevertheless, it's still a win, which would be win number 4 on the year for Johnny Sauter. Not enough to put him in the points lead, considering Todd Bodine finishes 2nd, but nevertheless, still enough to close that gap, even slightly. as we approach the white flag under caution. We are not going to get this race resumed. So, all Johnny Sauter has to do, not blow up, and make his way around one more time. As we look, in second place is the number 30 Todd Bodine, Austin Dillon third, Eric Amarola fourth, Ron Hornaday Jr. fifth, Mike Skinner sixth, James Busher seventh, Timothy Peters in 8th, number 23 Jason White in 9th, and the 18 of Kyle Busch rounds out your top 10. Then it's Justin Lofton, Mario Gosselin, Ricky Carmichael, Ryan Sieg. Top 15 is going to be Jennifer Jo Cobb and Norm Benning, 16th, the last truck on the lead lap, provided nothing insane happens. Which doesn't look to happen. It's been a pretty quiet race in the later half. Had a decent amount of excitement in the first little bit as they tried to work their way around Todd Bodine. Bodine, of course, led the first good half of this race, then lost it on pit road. A restart came, a couple of leaders exchanged positions, but nothing happened that terminated anybody's race. Johnny Sauter, when he got out to the lead, there he went, and here we go, off of turn 4. Johnny Sauter is going to get win number 4. He's going to win 4 of the last 5 races in the Craftsman Truck Series, and he gets the next one done here in Gateway. Congratulations, Johnny Sauter, on an absolutely dominant win. 1 hour, 11 minutes for Johnny Sauter to get his 4th win of the year. Outside of and none of the positions change below that, so let's take a look at the rest of the field. 17th, Matt Crafton. 18th, Brett Raymer. Then Elliott Sadler, Brett Butler, your top 20. Then it's Kenny Strader, Chris Fontaine, Johnny Benson Jr., Mike Harmon, Taylor Malsum, Nelson PK Jr., then Johanna Long, Donnie Leah, Jack Smith, Max Pappas running out your top 30. Then it's Miguel Paludo, Dennis Setzer, Chris Jones, Rick Crawford, Donnie Neuenberger. Then 3 laps down in 36 is Tony Jackson Jr., Craig Goes, Brad Sweet, Mike Garvey, Tim Bainey Jr. Then the last 3 trucks who had issues, Bobby Hamilton Jr. out with a mechanical, David Starr out with a tire issue, Stacey Compton with another valve issue. So 40 trucks finished this race. And that, right, ladies and gentlemen, will do it from Gateway. Thank you for tuning in. We'll be back next week with next series race at Indianapolis at the IRP Raceway in Indianapolis, right next to Indianapolis Motor Speedway. So that's all. Congratulations to Johnny Sauter and the rest of the top 10. We'll see you next time.